turn you
Welcome,
up.
welcome.
Thank you. How are you?
I'm good. The day after the holiday.
I know. I'm so tired. I'm tired from it. How was
Girl,
your holiday?
it was good though, overall. Like I was saying, I literally cooked and I slept before I ate. I mean, that's how tired.
Yeah.
I was so tired.
You look like you had a lot of good food though.
Do I look like
No, what you said, I mean, it sounds like you had a lot of good food. Like,
Girl, it was a lot of food. I mean, but
yeah,
without further ado, welcome to the face behind the brand. I am
thank
your
you.
host, Monique Marie, and you are Riah
Right, Dawn.
Dawn. Yes, yes. I am so excited to have you here tonight. Your time is tonight. Um, as you know, I discovered your sound, the T, and I was very excited about it. And your lyrical expertise and your vibe and energy just really captured my attention.
Well, thank you. Thank you
Yeah,
so much. I'm
yeah,
glad you found it.
yeah. So, who is Riah Dawn?
Oh, Riot Dawn is a lot of things.
Yeah,
I am a creator.
yeah.
I think that's at the end of the day, that's what I am. I do a lot of things.
Hmm.
Um, I make music. I write poetry. I make videos.
Yeah.
I make documentaries. I draw. I just do a lot of creative things. And I
Hmm.
work, regular 9 to 5. Well, 9 to 1, but
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, I also do that as well, but I am a creator. I think that's the best way to explain who I am.
I like that. I like that. Well, you are absolutely gorgeous.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
yes, and your energy, of course, and I say that with everything because I gave me a chance, and that's why I like to do the preliminaries too, because it gives me a chance to break the
Yeah.
ice, and to see, of course, who I'm vibing with, and vice
Right.
versa, right?
Right.
So, and I got that energy right away. So I
Yeah.
appreciate you again.
I love your
Allowing me.
energy too.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much. So
You're
talk to
welcome.
me about your parents, because I know they, of course, were from the industry. Your mom is a manager, right, for an artist, and
Yeah.
your dad was a bodyguard for the new kids on the block. So
Yeah. Yeah, crazy. So I
crazy.
actually didn't grow up with my parents, which is the craziest thing.
Yeah.
But I guess music and artistry is in my blood on both sides, which is
Hmm.
weird. Because a lot of people say you grow up in an area or you grow up with people and you're influenced by those people or what they do. But
Hmm.
somehow I didn't grow up with them, and I got a lot of attributes and traits from them and talents from
Hmm.
them.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, my mom, she's a manager for some artists, and she's been doing it for a long time. That's
Yeah.
actually how she met my dad back in the
Wow.
day, which is
Wow.
weird. Because he was bodyguarding and she was doing her music stuff, and they bumped into each other.
Mm.
And my dad has been in the music industry for a long time. He's bodyguard, New Kids on the Block, BCAP, Linda Rose.
Wow.
He's best friends with Maurice Starr. Well, he was. He passed away, but he was best friends with Maurice
Mm.
Starr.
Yeah.
So he
Yeah.
knows a lot about the music industry.
Hmm.
And he was the one that actually introduced me to start recording and be in the
Wow.
recording studio because my producer is one of his friends
Hmm.
that he works with, and he was like a mentor to him too. So that's actually how I got into recording my music because I've made music
Hmm.
since fifth grade. I like wrote songs and poetry,
Hmm.
but I never thought I could make anything out of it. And then my dad introduced me, and literally from there, I haven't stopped. So
Yeah. The rest, as we are seeing who you are
yeah,
becoming. I don't know who that is
exactly,
ringing my doorbell, but whoever it is, they didn't call. So,
exactly.
like, let's see. So the tea. Let's talk about the tea.
Oh
Pro- the tea is, of course, how I discovered you. Produced by
yeah,
Brandon Cap, right?
yeah.
Came out in 2019. Actually, it's like you're having a rebirth because it may be the time it's supposed to truly be born, right?
Yeah, yeah. I wasn't patient at all. I really wanted to get it out. My dad was actually dying and he was really sick and he loved this song. Like when he was on his bed, he wanted me to play the song, so I played it over and over again.
Mm.
And I wanted to release a song, but I didn't know which song. But because he loved that song, I was like, I have to do it. And then my girlfriend got me into the studio to get photo shoots done and get everything done, like while he was passing. And
Mm.
I released it after he passed away, but I told him
Mm.
I was going to release that song.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it was one of his favorites. So I kind of wish I waited. I did take a very long break,
Yeah.
not of writing music, but just getting back to the studio because of everything going on. But I definitely, I guess I've released it at a good time because
Yeah.
it's what happened. Everything happened for a reason.
Yeah.
But this is now more of my time to promote it and just
Hmm.
have everybody enjoy it.
Well, it's a timeless sound, and I truly believe in that because it's like a lot of times we can put something out there. I think again, it's being born.
Yeah.
Music has a birth time period, and I just think it knows when it's ready. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
congratulations because it's
Thank you.
a beautiful song. I mean, I was just playing it actually all day in the car as I was out running around this morning, and like, it's just catchy, right? But
It is.
the lyrics are, again, what's so cold about it, because what you're talking about is, being yourself and knowing who you are, and not letting anybody stop that.
Yeah.
So
And owning it. You gotta
yeah,
own it.
incredible. So you're empowering a lot of us, women and
Thank you.
men too, right?
Yeah.
I see we have some folks on. Greetings, beautiful people. Mo Bless 25 said that, and I see you, Contraband Beats. That's a wonderful producer. I think he is an incredible producer, I should say. So you got some good support on here tonight.
I do.
Talk to me about your success as a CEO. You are running a business called the Broken Halo Club.
Yeah. It's actually I have a supporter on here right now. My girlfriend
Who's
and
that?
another one. He's a
That's,
producer as well. He loves my music. He plays
what's
it,
going
DJs it.
on? That's good. That's what's up.
Yeah. So I actually yeah, the Broken Halo Club. So I actually started that because of quarantine. Another thing is I'm a creator. I like to make things. So I also sew. I
Yes.
didn't say that earlier. I should
Yeah.
have. But I also make clothes. I used to
Mm-hmm.
design clothes. So
Love
because
it.
of that, I was like, I am bored in the house bored,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and I need to do something. Like I need to be creative. And like I was making music. I couldn't go to the studio because of quarantine. So I
Mm-hmm.
was like, my girlfriend actually, she was like, you used to make clothes, just do it again. Like,
Yeah.
just do it.
Yeah.
I had a sewing machine. I haven't touched the sewing machine since 2014, twenty
Oh my
fifteen.
God. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. That
crazy.
happens. Yeah.
We were gonna sell it like a million times, and I was like, she was like, no, don't sell it. You might touch it again. You might touch it again.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
needless to say, I was like, all right, let me do it. And I got right back into it, started making bikinis, and apparently that's one of the hardest things to do. But I
Ooh.
started hard to go like to the easy stuff, and I just do that now. And yeah, the rest is history, really.
Well,
But
it's beautiful.
also, the Broken Halo Club is to empower people who not feel as though they are broken,
Mm-hmm.
but have been knocked down and felt like they were broken before, and
Mm-hmm.
really is to empower women. Our slogan is empower women, and it's really just to empower women across the board, empower people across the board, and just love who they are. And
I
that's
love it.
basically my brand. Yeah.
I love it. Well, you were inspired to do this by your Aunt Kim, correct?
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's my mom, really. She's my
Mhm.
mom. She came into my life, saved me from a whole
Mhm.
bunch, and I told her I was gonna start it, and I was like, I'm doing this because of you. Like, my whole brand is based off of like who you are and how you've grown out of things and how you were able to help me be who I am and help my little sister. Now she's growing into who she is. So
Yeah. Yeah.
she inspired me to do it.
That's incredible. I think it's
Yeah.
beautiful. Again, empowering women, empowering other women, right? I
Yeah.
mean, it's just not tearing other women down, lifting
Right.
them up. So I think
Right.
that's incredible. I see you, Class, International Class. He came on tonight to watch you. He's going to be on tomorrow night. So,
Ooh.
so what's going on? How do you feel the internet has impacted the music business today, Riah?
Ooh, the music business today and the internet.
Yeah.
I really truly feel that they it's it's made room for a lot of people who just want to make music to do it,
Hmm.
for it
Hmm.
to be heard and for it to be seen.
Yeah.
But I think it has also really broke the music industry in different ways, and um, it really hurts the people that want to go far with it, and aren't just doing it as a hobby. And there's nothing wrong with doing it as a hobby at
Right.
all.
Right.
But it's really hard for people who want to make a living out of it and their career out of it to be seen because there's
Hmm.
just so much music being pushed out every single day, literally every single day. Um, and it's just hard. It's made it really, really hard to be noticed and seen and to grow. And I mean, again, people make music because they love music. Music, everybody likes different types of music, and there's
Yeah.
always new music being produced and made every day. But the
Hmm.
problem is there's not a lot of quality music being produced. And
Absolutely.
that is the issue with the music industry and social media, because anybody can go on here and promote their stuff, and it's a song. Maybe they were a great rapper. My dog just came into my room. Maybe they were a great rapper. Maybe they are a great writer. But I
Hmm.
mean, all of it combined because they record it in their house, and there's nothing wrong with that. But it just doesn't sound quality music. It's
Yeah.
better quality over quantity. That's how I
Yes,
feel.
absolutely. Absolutely. I see you, Anthony Catchings. We have a lot of artists on here tonight, girl. You dragging them in tonight. What's going on? I see Joshua Tree Foundation. That's my cousin girl from Oakland.
Oh, hi.
We have a lot of support on here tonight. So what would you tell me if I ask you what has life taught you recently? You know, and I would say obviously, especially COVID 2020. What has life taught you this year, Riah?
Well, life has taught me to focus on me this year.
Amen.
I spent my whole life, my late teens, early 20s, and I'm only 25, but I feel like I'm older because of how
Oh,
much I've dedicated
Jesus.
my life to
Yeah.
kids. Um, I'm passionate in educating and mentoring and guiding and coaching. That's like another thing I do. I love kids. Like I love
Hmm.
them, but up until last year, I've only made my life based off of kids and what they need and their needs and how it could help them, and
Yeah.
never focused on me.
Mm.
And I realized it more as quarantine happened because I couldn't do anything. There wasn't
Hmm.
anything to coach. There was really hard to teach anybody because I
Yeah.
couldn't see them.
Yeah.
And I wasn't working with kids anymore. So I was finally able to like focus on me. And that's where I wrote all my quality music. That's where I started my business. And
Yeah.
that's where I got to do my YouTube videos. And
Hmm. Hmm.
by doing that, I learned a lot about myself that I thought I knew. Like, you're
Yeah.
young, you're dumb, you're naive.
Yeah.
You think you know stuff, but you don't really know until you're going through it. But I learned a lot about myself, and I'm still learning a lot about myself because it's still happening.
Yeah.
And I just learned how to just, number one, say no. We were talking about
Yes.
that the other day.
Woo,
Learn how to say
hallelujah.
no, but also
Just
just
no.
focus on you, taking
Yes.
care of yourself. So
Self-care. Yes.
self-care is
I love it.
everything.
I love it. I love it. Yeah, I would agree. This has been a year of the shift, right? Um,
Yeah,
I think many people, yes, of course, we are saddened by a lot of the loss and of course the leadership and just different things, but there are some beautiful things and blessings that have come out of the shift. I think when
right.
we lose something, of course we gain some things, and
Exactly.
we've gained a whole lot, so one of the things that again I also noticed about you, of course, now you're telling me your age, which is incredible because you've done a lot for
Yeah.
25. I think that's just crazy, but that's maturity, right?
Yeah.
You're a director, and one of the successes you've had a chance to do was film a documentary interview of the Spokane NAACP president, Rachel Dolezal. So talk to me a bit about that opportunity, because that's incredible, and how that came about.
Provide is actually on Netflix. And my girlfriend and I were just sitting there and I was like, let's watch this. I heard about this when it came out. It happened in 2015. I was in college and it was a huge deal. I was like, let's just watch it. We watched the whole thing and I felt terrible for her. I felt terrible
Yeah.
for her. I try to watch it, being in the middle, seeing both sides. And when I watch things and do things, I try to see both sides all the time. And when I watched
Mm-hmm.
that, I couldn't help but not be on her side. I had to
Yeah.
be because number one, I could relate with her on so many things. And in my
Mm-hmm.
documentary, I talk a lot about that. I could relate with her because just because you're born one color,
Mm-hmm.
doesn't mean that you need to act like that color or what people presume that you should act, how people presume you should act, or any of
Mm-hmm.
that. And I have a very, very diverse family. It's like the
Yes.
United Nations. And
Yeah.
I was adopted a few times and I moved houses and
Yeah.
I didn't have a stable home. And I've been impacted by different cultures.
Yeah.
People look at me and they think that I'm Hispanic or Cape Verdean or one thing, but they don't understand that I have different cultures within me and I'm
Mm-hmm.
not just one thing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and people look at me, hey, you're black, but I didn't grow up in black culture.
Mm.
And that was the thing with her. She just wasn't understood and nobody gave her a chance to really explained that, because she opened that conversation of what is race really.
Yes.
Is race
Yes.
biological, or is it all in our minds? Is it
Mm-hmm.
something that society has pressured us to just divide?
Mm-hmm.
And the documentary, The Racial Divide, was a perfect title, number one. But
Yeah.
I was like, let me just message her, go out on a whim. Let's email her. Let's message her.
Mm-hmm.
I messaged her on Instagram, and I kid you not, 2 days later, she answered me, and I was like, "Whoa, I didn't think this was gonna happen."
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
she's a sweetheart. She's a sweetheart.
Mm-hmm.
So she was like, "Yeah, let's do it. Like, I'm totally down," because I was very open about it. I'm like, "Listen, like, I can relate with you, but I want to present it in a way in which people can see it from your side, but also understand why people are mad." You know,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
2 weeks later, I think 3 weeks later, I got to interview her, and then I really focused the documentary on my childhood and
Yeah.
what has happened to me, to
Mm-hmm.
relate to her, basically to open the door that there are a lot of people like us out here,
Mm-hmm.
and it's okay to be different, and it's okay to not agree or open a conversation that people just don't want to have a conversation about.
Yeah.
So that's how that
Absolutely.
all came. Yeah.
Absolutely amazing. I think you did a very good job. I mean, I was just like, she directed. I mean, super talented, right? But
Thank you.
I think also because again, you were so intrigued by the situation and what transpired, it made you
Yeah.
want to present it, in this way. And I think again, it was a very, very, very good job. So well done
Thank you.
on the
Thank you so
presentation
much.
for that. And I'm sure, of course, she's definitely
Yeah.
appreciative as well. How
She's
you,
such a sweetheart. She's
yeah,
such a sweetheart. So if
yeah,
anyone's on here watching, definitely go reach out to her. Like, her
yeah,
life had completely changed
yeah,
because of that entire situation, and she needs the support, just
yeah.
love, constant love.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So you shared with me, and talking about your childhood, you actually had, you met your biological father. You didn't meet your biological father until you were 10 years old.
Yeah.
So talk to me about that memory and what transpired and what made that so special.
Oh gosh. So it's actually crazy. The reason why I met him was because my grandfather had passed away. I
Hmm.
kid you not, like a half a year later, I was like, I want to meet my dad, because
Yeah.
my grandfather was my dad at that time.
Hmm. Hmm.
Um, I was really broken because of my grandfather passing. I was like, all right, like I need a dad figure. I need a dad. Like, he was around our family, not around our family, but he was in the area, but I just never saw him.
Yeah.
Um, so I was like, all right. They were like, okay, she really wants to meet her dad. Let's make it happen. I ended up meeting him. I wasn't really for it in the beginning.
Mm.
Honestly, I was young and angry.
Hmm.
Uh, I think I connected with him until I was about 12 or 13, and then I cut him off.
Mm.
Um, yeah, it was really, now again, I look back at it, I was young and naive, but I mean, I had a reason to do it because I didn't really understand life.
Yeah.
I mean, no one really understands life
Yeah.
at that age.
Yeah.
And I had a lot of anger. I had
Hmm.
anger up until I was 23. Like, I just started figuring it out.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
So, yeah, crazy. As time went on, found out I had a whole bunch of siblings. Didn't
Yeah.
meet any of them, maybe two of them, I think. I met two of them. Time
Hmm.
went on, didn't talk to them. And then last 2 years ago, 2017, I reconnected with him.
Wow.
But every year he always tried to reach out to me, my birthday, holidays. I always talked to his sister, so I was kind of in contact with him through his
Hmm.
sister. We kind of
Mm.
communicated that way, but I just never wanted to talk to him. I
Yeah.
don't know why. Well, I mean, I know why now, but back then I didn't know why.
Hmm.
And then we reconnected, and our bond, I talked to him about everything. I was finally healed. I was finally open to have the conversation and hear answers I didn't want to hear.
Hmm.
And he gave me every answer I've ever had in my entire life that I had for him.
Yeah.
And that just started our whole relationship over,
Hmm.
really. And then he got really sick a few months later. And then, yeah, I met all my brothers and sisters at
Hmm.
his services. I got them all together. I don't know how I did it, but I found them all, got them there, because that was his last wish, is to be in the same room all together.
Yeah.
And we made it happen. So,
Beautiful.
yeah.
And we're talking seven, is it seven siblings? 10.
Yes, eight. There's eight on his side,
So many.
but I have 10 in total, but eight
Woo.
from him.
What a
Yeah.
blessing though, right? It's like
Yeah.
to wait all your life and then to discover all this love.
Oh my gosh. It was insane. It was very overwhelming. I didn't really take it in until I haven't taken it in up until this year, honestly. This 1 year mark, I was like, wow. Like, we really it was the first time in our life. When I was making the documentary, I said it, and that's when it really hit me. I was like,
Hmm.
wow, like, this
Hmm.
is insane. People wish for this, and sometimes it
Yeah.
doesn't happen.
Hmm. Hmm.
So,
Wow, that's a beautiful blessing. What would you say is one of your greatest challenges?
I think really focusing and loving myself, making sure I'm good. I'm still working on it, but I still have my flaws and I still put other things before myself and other people's feelings before myself. And I need to do a better job at really just filtering out what I need to focus on and how long I need to focus on it for me, for
Yeah.
my happiness.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. And I think we talked about that because, of course, you're May Taurus. I'm April Aries Taurus. So it's like I
yeah,
think a lot of times we have we put everything for other people first all the time. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? And I don't think it's a flaw. It's your heart. It's
yeah,
when you have a soft heart for people. I'd rather have a soft heart than a hard heart.
exactly.
And be bitter and angry and mean and nasty. But at the
Yeah,
same time, yeah, you have to be careful because people can take advantage, and that has
yeah,
happened. You know,
yeah,
and
for sure.
yeah, so I think this year, yeah, the letting go part, which leads me into my next question for you, is I think it's huge. So I always say to the power of letting go, right? Because it's so powerful.
Right.
And not to throw people away particularly, but to know when to let go. So I can ask you, when is it okay to let something or someone go? And how do you know when it's time?
Yeah. I think when you have to sit down and ask yourself that question,
Yeah.
I think
Right.
I really think, I mean, I still struggle. There's people that I have had in my life recently where I sat down with my girlfriend and we're just like, this isn't worth it.
Mm.
You can love them from afar,
Yes.
but
Yes.
is it worth your energy? Is it worth your stress? And that's something I still struggle. That's definitely something I still struggle with people I let around me and people that take my energy. But I'm better at really realizing and sitting down. It's really my girlfriend though. She's the one that really helps me. I
Mhm.
can't take the credit for that at all
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
she,
Yeah.
she she notices when I get overwhelmed with something and I'm trying to help people. And I think that once I can sit down and say, hey, and have the conversation with her, like, is this really worth me arguing with this person or even talking about this? Like, is
Hmm.
it actually going to change? Do you see
Yeah.
this changing in the long run? And if it doesn't, we're like, all right, like just either cut them off or just say, I'm going to love you from afar. If you need me,
Hmm.
I'm always here. But
Absolutely.
we're not doing this anymore.
Right.
We're not doing it. So,
But when you have to
yeah,
sit down and ask yourself that question, that's when you know it's
yeah,
time. I mean, yeah,
yeah, for
that's
sure.
pretty deep, because some
Yeah,
folks would sit there and go back and forth with themselves. I mean, weeks, months go by,
yeah.
and
I'm guilty. I'm guilty.
that's it too. Well, not
Yeah,
anymore though. Like I said,
yeah,
2020 has really enlightened me. A great. No, I've been so selfish. I think it's
yeah,
a beautiful thing. Self-care, self-love, just selfish.
yeah,
With my time, and it's a blessing.
yeah. You have to be.
So.
You have to be.
So when after letting go, when would you say you actually feel like yourself the most? When do you feel most like yourself?
You mean in regards to letting these people go, or just
In
me in
general,
general?
like when does Riah feel like herself?
When I'm creating,
Mm.
it doesn't matter what I'm creating, but
Hmm.
I get I have tunnel vision. I
Yeah.
do. So when I
Yes.
start something, I'm like, I need to do this. It needs to be amazing. When I write a song, I'm like, I already see the whole music video and what's gonna happen later on. And I'm not even recording videos right now. You know what I
Mm.
mean?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
write a song unless I have a vision for it. If I don't have a vision
Hmm.
for the song, I'm never gonna release that song. I'm never gonna keep writing it. I mean, I could write it down as like words, but
Yeah.
I have a vision, and when I come up with something, it's very tunnel vision, and it hurts me
Hmm.
sometimes,
Yeah.
because you just forget about everything else going around. But when I feel at home,
Yeah.
when I really feel at home, I'm in the studio. That's my
Hmm.
home. But
Yes.
when I feel safe and like I'm all set, is when I am creating anything,
Hmm.
because I get to share that with people, whether it's a drawing, whether it's a video, whether it's me talking or just singing a song. Like I feel complete.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. Which
Yeah.
mainstream artists would you say you admire the most? I know there's so many.
Anybody that knows me knows I love Ariana Grande. I love
Ariana
her. I
Grande.
love her. And so I have a candle and everything. Like
Oh
it's
my
I love her.
goodness.
It's sickening.
Wow.
It's actually sickening. But the reason why I love her though,
Yes, tell
I
me.
think that she brings a whole her voice is not like really many others. I mean, like we
Yeah.
got the Mariah
Yeah.
Ariana thing, but I still think she surpassed that. I think that she is a genius.
Yeah.
I think her artistry when she creates again, she when she creates my girlfriend's laughing.
Yeah.
When she creates It's where she's at home, and you can feel that when she sings any of her songs, or she doesn't put out bad songs
Yeah.
ever.
Yeah.
Um, and her albums, it's weird how her albums have been released. I've been
Hmm.
in the same situations or
Hmm.
feeling the same way when she releases them
Yeah.
or during the time she was writing them. And I think that's like really weird to me
Hmm.
because every album she goes through something or she's getting through something. That's what I'm going through in my life. And I
Hmm.
think that's the power of music and the power of lyrics. And you never know what someone's going through. So when you're writing something, you have to be smart about it. You
Yeah.
have to understand that anyone could be feeling the same way that you're feeling,
Hmm.
and your words just help them get through it, or your art just help them get through it, or just you looking at them and giving them a smile help them get through it. And I think she does an amazing job doing that. And people are
Hmm.
like, oh, it's Ariana Grande, everybody loves her, but like, I don't think people really understand how much I love her.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
and it's deeper than just what she looks like and her just
Yeah.
being a pop star. If she wasn't a
Hmm.
big pop star, I probably would still love her as much as I do.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Well, you're
yeah,
relating to, again, what she's talking about, and then the power of her voice.
yeah, yeah,
There are some folks that are literally anointed with a special gift that just
yeah.
literally gives chills. Like,
Hmm.
I heard a gentleman the other day and had no clue who he was. And then, of course, I started following a gentleman by the name of Nocho. And he, I was like, who is this guy? Who is this guy? And it's like,
Yeah,
come to find out he's like this famous pastor's son, or someone just even like that. I didn't know who he was. He's a gospel
yeah,
artist, but his voice, you could just see his body
yeah.
moving through his presentation of delivering just a small verse,
Right.
and so that touched me. And like, I can feel what you're saying with Ariana, because it's a
Yeah,
big voice,
yeah.
and not everybody has it,
No.
so answer this question. Are you more worried about doing things right or doing things wrong?
Um, I like to do things right.
Mm.
I'm very worried about doing things right, actually.
Hmm. Hmm.
Anything I do, I research up on it a lot. People would be surprised how much I'm Googling things every
Hmm.
day, like
Hmm.
the most random things anything
Yeah.
could think of. I
Yeah.
will be driving by a fire station and it looks like it's old, and I'm like, wow, when was that created? Like the
Yes.
weirdest things.
Yeah.
But I
Curious. Yeah.
think being educated
Hmm.
and Googling and searching and asking a lot of questions gets you really far in life
Yes.
because you may know things that people just would never think of.
Hmm.
Um, I'm very guilty of thinking of things that people just never think of. Like
Hmm.
my
Hmm.
whole family makes fun of me for it, but it's so serious. Like I think of the most random things because I always just want to know the answer.
Yeah.
Um, because I just want to be right,
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Absolutely.
even with my music, I mean, anything I'm doing, any step I'm taking, anyone I'm reaching out to, I reach out to a lot of people. And there's a lot of people that message me, hey, you want to use this beat? Hey, you want to do this? Hey, you want to do that? And like I can get these all day, but if I don't feel that it's right or I don't think it's the right way or any of that, like it's not gonna happen. And I take that into my music as well. Like I work really hard. Like I said, I'll write something, but if I'm not feeling what I'm writing or I don't think that it's
Yeah.
going to be, I don't see the vision. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? If I don't
Yeah.
see the vision, I'm not going to do it.
Yeah.
And that's part of me making sure everything is right and exactly how it needs to be for it
Yeah.
to be successful.
Well, you are a true visionary, Riah Dawn.
Yeah. Yeah. Tunnel vision. I should be called Tunnel Vision. That should be my
Yeah,
name.
that's crazy, because I was talking to my cousin the other day and I hadn't talked to her in a while, and she was just like, "We know you're okay, but when you're busy, it's tunnel vision." I'm like,
Yeah, that's
"Yeah, I
me.
guess that's what it is." I don't,
Yeah.
I have maybe one or two that I reach out, but it's like, no, I
Yeah,
can't be distracted,
literally
So
me.
yeah,
Literally me. I think it's a tourist thing. Has to be a
I
tourist
think
thing.
so too. And it's like, I've been
Yeah.
like this all my life, like.
Yeah. Yeah. It doesn't get easier as you get older. You're like, no, like I actually don't need to talk to you today.
No.
Like I have this thing to do. It's crazy.
So it makes a lot of sense. So if you had a friend who spoke to you in the same way, who was just like you, the same way you speak to yourself and talk to yourself, how long would you allow this person to be your friend?
If I had a friend that would
Hmm.
think like me,
Think like you, talk like you, act like you.
I mean, I feel like I do have friends. The friends that I keep around and that I'm actually really close with are a lot like me.
I
And I
love
think
it.
that's why I keep them around.
Hmm.
Um, it's weird because I just made a friend that lives across the country
Hmm.
over like through the internet. And
Wow.
we are so much alike. And it's
Hmm.
weird.
Yeah.
It's really weird.
Yeah.
But it happens. It's like we think alike, we say the same things a lot of the time. I mean, like there's things we don't think alike about, but I mean, like we have the same energy, and I think that's the big thing. And my close friends that are back home, it's the
Mm-hmm.
same thing. We think alike. We have the same dry humor.
Mm-hmm.
We are sarcastic. I'm a huge sarcasm. Sarcasm is like my language. Like I'm very sarcastic all the time, and I think in order for people to understand you, you have to have the people that understand that to
Yes.
be around you.
Yes.
So
Yes.
yeah.
Wow. That's incredible. So what is the
Yeah.
best advice you've been given thus far?
Girl, it's crazy because the other day when I was talking to you, I was
Uh-uh.
talking to one of my close friends, and I was in a really bad funk. Like I was in a
Mm,
really bad funk like the
mhm.
day after I was talking to you.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I'm just gonna sleep,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
easy way to get out of it. And
Mhm.
I call her my big sister. So like my big
Mhm.
sister was like, you know, um, you can't sleep. When you feel like this, you need to create. And I'm like, all
Mm.
right. And she said the same thing you said, and my girlfriend said it too that day. You need to focus what you said about your grandmother, I think, or your
Yeah.
aunt.
Yeah.
Make sure that you're good. Take care of you.
Yeah.
That's what
Oh,
it
take
was.
care of
Take
yourself.
take
Yes.
care of yourself. I'm like,
Yeah.
it's the same, take
Yeah.
care of yourself. And
Mm-hmm.
I I often, like I say, I often forget to take
Yeah.
care of myself because I have the tunnel vision and
Mm-hmm.
I'm working on all these things, and
Mm-hmm.
but I needed to take care of myself in that moment because
Yeah.
I was like manic. It just was, that whole day was just not happening for me.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Yeah.
um but I need to take care of myself, and I think that advice right now is the best advice I could be given
Yeah.
because that's just going to make sure that I am successful all across the board in what I'm
Mm-hmm.
doing. And if I'm not taking care of myself, even my health, I have terrible allergies. If I'm not taking care of myself, I can't go to the studio and sing because I sound like nasally
Exactly. Yeah.
because
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
sick,
Absolutely. Yeah.
But I have to take care of myself, and I think that's the best advice right now.
Yeah, it's crucial. I mean, because a lot of artists, especially the culture in general, we don't talk enough about the health, physical health, but mental health. I think
Yeah,
if you don't have your mental health, you don't have physical health.
exactly.
And I think it's just becoming more of a conversation. For me, especially now doing a lot of with the journalism, it's crucial because right now, especially, we're in the middle of holidays, so there's a lot of seasonal depression going on
Oh
right now.
yeah. Yep.
And I was speaking to a family member the other day, and she was just, she was trying to figure out why she was crying. She's a lot younger than me. She's like, I don't
Hmm.
understand why I'm crying. So, I'm like, well, for one, we lost our grandmother. Our
Right.
grandmother's not here, so it's like, you're not crazy. It's okay to
Yeah.
sleep. If you have to sleep 3 hours, 4 hours, go to sleep, lay down.
Right.
But take care of you, because that's a lot of what it is. It's seasonal depression.
Exactly.
Thanksgiving, Christmas, all of these things. So it's important for us to have some type of an outlet. And I think it's beautiful that you have, your music, you have your
Yeah.
girlfriend, you have people around you who can lift you and motivate you out of whatever the funk is. We all go through it though,
Yeah.
especially artists. We go through this, like, is it okay? Am I perfect? Is it great? Is it going to be, it's
Yeah.
like, calm down, you
And
know?
I think that goes back to that question you asked me earlier about the music industry and social media and the
Yeah.
internet.
Yeah.
Um, it just puts so much pressure on artists all the
Yeah.
time. Like I told you the other day, Ariana Grande made released 2 albums within 2 months, and like
Yeah.
I was still sitting there like, give me more, but I'm part of
Yeah.
the problem. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like, like I do get it, Ariana, but like, come on, make more music. But it's like
Make
she
more.
was going through the most. That's when she
Yeah.
was having like a mental breakdown, and
Mm-hmm.
that we are part of the problem, all of us. And
Pressure.
but
Yeah.
it's all the pressure of just society and the industry, and
Mm-hmm.
that's just what the music industry is right now. And we all have to remember that taking care of ourselves makes quality music, makes a lot of music,
Absolutely. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
just makes us feel better in general.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So
Hmm.
speaking of goals, I'm like, back to the pressure. Now, what is your number one goal for you for the next, I would say the next 6 months, because we're almost into January, literally, what
Yeah.
is your goal for the next 6 months?
I want to release another single for
Okay.
sure.
Mm-hmm.
I've been working really hard. I have a lot of music. I've had a lot of music for a while, but I just am looking for that right one to put out, and I finally have it.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to release some more music, but also I want to be better
Mm-hmm.
every day than I was the day before. So if I could reach out to 30 people a day instead of 15 people a day,
Mm-hmm.
that is a goal for me. And I think little goals are what will make you feel accomplished because it gets to that bigger goal. For a long time, I looked at life as you make one goal and you're going to get to that goal. And it was like an unattainable goal. And my uncle says it to me all the time. You make these unattainable goals. I can't even say that word. Unattainable goal. You make these goals knowing that you can't reach them within the time you want to reach them, but you keep doing it.
Yes.
And I'm like, yeah, because I know that's where I want to be.
Yes.
He's like, but you're not making the little goals to get to where you want to be. And that's what you need to work on, is those little goals get to the big goal.
Absolutely.
And that's where you are. So I have a lot of little goals that I'm be working on. And my biggest one for those little ones are to just be better than the day before.
Yeah.
So
I like that. I like that.
Yeah.
So, what would you say the most desirable trait is that another person can possess?
Oh, that's a great question.
Well,
Let me think.
So.
I think, not loyalty. I think honesty. I am a person that will tell you that you need to get your life together, or in the moment it's happening.
Yeah.
But that's who I surround myself around too. And in order for you to be successful, you need to be around people that can call you out when you're doing something stupid, or call you out when you're not making the right decision. And even though it sucks because you're being called out, and like I get called out all the time by my close friends and my family, but I keep them around for that reason, because they know when I'm slacking and they know when I'm not doing what I should be doing. And I don't feel attacked when they tell me what I need to be doing anymore. I used to, but not anymore. That's part of learning. That's part of growing up and learning. But I can't take all credit for that, because I used to be a terrible teenager, and I'm still young, so I'm still learning. But I think
you're so young.
It's crazy.
Yeah. Just
but I think,
oh my God.
For real. But that's really what it is. I think that's what I need to do, because
That's beautiful. I like that. I think having honest people around are very important, and knowing that they're honest, of course, to make you grow and to motivate you into something better, and not being honest to tear you down, if that makes sense. Because sometimes some honesty can be, constructive criticism, right? I think constructive criticism is crucial, and to be able to understand it and where it's coming from, a place of love, usually.
Yeah. So. But you got to be careful, though. That's another thing I've been learning recently, is I need to be careful of who I try to, I tell my successes to, because there are a lot of people that don't support you because you're doing good things. But the moment you make it, they're going to be like, hey, I was your number one fan. And it's like, but I noticed everything. So that's not how that works. So you got to be careful who you say that stuff to, because, people are pulling you down left and right. They act like they support you, but at the end of the day, they really don't. They're not supporting you. So that's another thing for sure.
Absolutely. Honey. Amen. Okay. Hopefully the people in the back heard you. Okay?
I hope they heard it too. I know they're watching.
Because some of them, that's a whole nother conversation for another day. Okay.
Yeah.
So I was going to say something. What's so funny? I'm learning too, and this is again a Taurus trait, it's crazy to really catch my tongue. Like,
that's me too. I'm terrible.
I've never been able to do it, and all of a sudden until now, and it's not to say this because, of course I know we're live and stuff, but it's healthy to catch it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, to know when to release, because I could cuss people out. I mean, not that it's okay, but I'm okay with telling someone off when necessary. But it's actually for my own peace, though, and sanity, and to feel good. I just,
it's hard. It's definitely hard. I definitely have my girlfriend in my corner always yelling at me like, hey, this is not the time or place. But I have a mouth. I do have a mouth. And
no filter.
I think that's one thing. No filter. And I think I need to definitely control that, because again, it's a time and a place. And the live is helping a lot, because it's like, you have to be careful what you say, you need to filter it out. But the more you do this, the better you are at it, and that's how I'm gonna get there.
I'm reading a book about just the impact of being a highly effective person, individual, and it's something, because listening to all of you, especially again artist to artist, it makes a lot of sense, because it's like people struggle with the same things that are doing the same things. but this is the way you're handling it, and so it
Yeah.
helps me to get off of here later. And then of course, like, think about, and revisit it. So 2020 has been crazy though. So, we have dealt with, pandemic one, which of course has been, of course, COVID-19. And then of course, pandemic two, which of course has been around for hundreds of years, which is racism.
Yeah.
So how would you describe freedom in your own words?
Okay, that's a great question too. I would say freedom is being able to love yourself with no regrets, but also no, what's the word? Not impact,
Mm,
but no pressure from other people.
mm,
Um, I feel for a very long time, and in my documentary, you could see that
yeah.
I felt like I have always had to walk on eggshells
Mm,
in life.
mm-hmm,
Still to this day, I mean, as things gotten heated over the year, I definitely had my moment where I didn't leave my house because I was nervous. My anxiety got the best of me because I live in a neighborhood where it's not predominantly Hispanic or Black,
mm-hmm,
and I don't know
mm-hmm,
how anyone's going to react. And that's actually something I was telling my girlfriend because she is white and she didn't understand what was going on in my head. And
mm,
I didn't know how to explain what was going on in my head because
mm,
it's something that's been going on in my head since I was a little girl,
mm.
because I was raised by white people,
Yeah.
because I didn't get to really be in touch with my Black culture and my Black family.
Mm-hmm,
I have always had the pressure of society and what I should be doing and
mm-hmm,
what I should do and how I should act. And that's something that has affected me
mm.
completely. Um,
Wow,
so yeah.
that's incredible.
Yeah.
So, wow, that's that's a big answer
Yeah.
for a big question.
Yeah.
Well, because yeah, I mean, it's interesting because yeah, a lot of us that are, of course, of color, we're most usually raised by our people of color, our families.
Right.
And there's many people, it's interesting that you say that. My grandmother, who I
Hmm.
talked to you about, my grandmother who passed away a
Yeah.
few years ago, she was adopted.
Yeah.
And her family, it's interesting because we could talk about color from a standpoint of being Black and white. Then we could talk about color, from being, dark in color. And my grandmother
Right.
was very dark skinned. And so
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of times there is a stigma in our own race,
Oh, there is.
where, yeah, it's like, oh, well, you're beautiful to be a Black girl,
Yeah.
or, so it's a little, it's unfortunate, but it's what we go through and what we
Yeah.
deal with. And she dealt with it a lot. I didn't hear about it until she got older.
Yeah.
So having to deal with, literally racism within your own race, I
Yeah.
think is an elephant in the room that we don't talk about
No
enough.
one
So
talks about.
yeah,
Hmm.
whether we're biracial, with Black, light, dark, whatever, it exists. And I don't think it'll change. We can't change what's happening, in the world with white, Black until we change it with Black, until we change it with ourselves.
Yeah. And I think it's a great conversation to have because me being light skinned, a lot of girls I grew up with who are
Mm-hmm.
darker than me, they're
Mm-hmm.
like, oh well, it's fine because you're light skinned. And
Yeah.
I didn't understand that
Yeah.
for a long
Yeah.
time. Now I do.
Mm-hmm.
But then I've realized also when I got into college, I was hanging out with the darker girls and they're like, well, you're not Black enough. Are you even
Yeah.
Black?
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, so like I'm too light. You want to be, some people are like, oh, you're light, so you get everything. It's like, actually, no. And then
Yeah.
I'm not Black enough, so I can hang out with the Black girls because I'm Black. Like, I don't get it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And and then I speak properly, and that was a whole nother
Mm-hmm.
conversation.
Mm-hmm.
You're
Mm-hmm.
not Black. You speak proper. I mean, I
Yeah.
really don't. I'm struggling speaking English right
Right.
now. Like, like
Because you're
it's just,
educated.
yeah, I'm educated, and
Yeah.
that stuff I had to deal with my own family.
Yeah.
Moving from the
Mm-hmm.
broken side of the family to the healed side of the
Mm-hmm.
family.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, what you think you're too good you think you're too good now because
Mm-hmm.
you are educated, and it's like, no,
Yeah.
I don't think I'm anything. Like I'm
Yeah.
just educated.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
but that
That's
that
crazy.
conversation is really hard conversation, and
It is.
I haven't been able to have those conversations with my friends, and
Yeah.
I think that's something that I would love to have with my
Mm-hmm.
Black friends.
Mm-hmm.
It's like everybody's side on it
Yeah.
and why they feel that way and what they dealt with growing up, because
Mm-hmm.
the reason why people feel the way they feel right now is because of what they've dealt with growing up,
Yes.
and
Yeah.
that's how I feel the way I feel. So
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Straight. It's someone being ostracized. You've been ostracized.
yeah.
My
Yeah.
grandmother, she was ostracized. for her skin tone. So yeah, it's definitely something I think we need. It's sensitive, I
Yeah.
would agree, but it is a conversation to have.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So when it's all said and done, will you have said more than you've done?
Would I have said more,
Mm-hmm.
or should I?
Would you have? A lot of people, we say a lot like, oh, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. I think I know the answer, but I just want to hear you say it.
So this is a really great question. I feel like I should have done a lot more,
Mm.
but everything that I have done,
Mm-hmm.
even if it wasn't how I wanted it to be done or what I've wished for it to
Mm-hmm.
be done the way it should have been done, it's brought me to now. And I've been able to impact people around me for the
Mm-hmm.
last 6, 7 years, maybe even longer, I don't know. But working with kids directly, and athletes directly, I have done a lot more than I've ever been able to look at and realize. And
Mm-hmm.
I hear it, here and there as the kids get older and their families reach out to me, or the kids get older and they're like, you really impacted me when you did this. And I don't even remember it because it happened like 6, 7 years ago when I
Mm-hmm.
was 18 years old, being a teenager, but also impacting all these kids.
Yeah.
And I think that is what shapes me into who I am now. Because now I can say that I'm going to do these things and actually do them because I know I have the capacity to do it and I know I have the strength to actually do it. Because
Mm-hmm.
that's something I lacked for a lot of years,
Yeah.
or I thought I lacked, but like now I'm confident in the strength that I have to do it because I've impacted so many people. So I know I can continue to do so. Uh, so yeah, that's.
Absolutely. So where would you say, I mean, because, we talked about inner peace a little bit too, on the call, and I was sharing with you we talked about affirmations and things
Yeah.
like that. So where do you find your inner peace?
I find my inner peace when I find my inner peace when I look in the mirror, honestly. I haven't, I gotta be honest. I have to be honest.
I love you.
I posted a picture like a month ago, I think, of like my body, my weight, how it fluctuates and stuff.
Yeah.
And
Mm-hmm.
it was the first time that I ever sat down and realized the reason why I've been so upset with myself for gaining weight is because of the pressure of being an athlete
Mm.
and continuing to stay in athlete shape, but you're growing up and you're a woman and your
Yeah.
hormones and all these
Mm-hmm.
things. And that really impacted how I thought about myself.
Yeah.
I wasn't able to look in the mirror. The last 2 years I gained a lot of weight and I just stopped playing basketball because of COVID and we couldn't do anything.
Yeah.
I wasn't treating myself well because I was home all day doing
Mm.
nothing, like sewing, but I wasn't doing anything. And it was really hard for me to look in the mirror.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like really
Mm.
hard for me to look in the
Yeah.
mirror.
Yeah.
I don't care. Like it didn't matter.
Yeah.
Even if I looked nice, someone would be like, "Oh, you look so pretty." It was not hard.
Yeah.
It was not happening. Now I'm able to do so because
Mm-hmm.
I've accepted why I do things the way I do, why I've been through things the way I've been through
Mm-hmm.
them.
Mm-hmm.
And I am at peace now when I look in the mirror. I can look at a picture of myself and not hate myself. Like,
Absolutely. Yeah.
and I think a lot of people don't like to talk about it, and I didn't like talking about it because I'm sitting here trying to mentor these kids and tell them
Yeah.
like, love yourself, do all these things, and I'm a role model every
Mm-hmm.
day. Everything I'm posting, everything I'm talking about, I'm a role model. But then I'm sitting here in my house crying because I don't fit
Yeah.
into stuff, and my girlfriend's like, "What's wrong?" And I'm like explaining to her.
Yeah.
But now I'm finally at that point where it's like, listen, fat, not fat, healthy. I think at the end of the day, I need to just be healthy.
Yeah.
That's what it is, whether it's mentally healthy, physically healthy, happy, whatever it is, that's what's actually going to make you feel at peace.
Yeah.
Not what other people look at you as, not what anybody has to say about you, and not what society is pressuring you to be like.
Yes. Yeah.
Because that's the biggest problem is
Yeah.
what society pressures you to be like. Even being in the music industry, I always thought I had to look a certain way.
Yeah.
And when I got to the studio, I talked to my producer about it. This was a year and a half ago. He was like, "You don't need to look a certain way. You are your brand. You
Yes.
present your brand. You represent your brand however you want it to be." And I was like, "So I don't have to go lose 30 pounds. You're talking
Right.
about like, I
Yeah.
don't have to go dye my hair red. I don't have
Yeah.
to go do this and the other." He's like, "No, you are who you are." I was like, "Well, that was my biggest fear. I don't ever want to change who I am.
Yeah.
If I make it or if I don't make it, I want to be who I am because this is who I am.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't like me, you're not gonna like me. No matter what, at the end of the day, someone's not gonna like me."
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
And it's usually their problem. They don't
it's
usually
their
like
problem.
themselves,
Yeah,
So it's like,
that's how it is. Yeah.
So that's incredible because, yeah, I mean, like you said, the industry, especially, but even talking to the younger kids, or even just the generation behind you, you know,
Yeah.
they are watching, they're on social media, whether it be Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, you know, everything is social media driven.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, if they see everybody, face plastic and all these other
Yeah.
things, you know, that's what they're doing. And they literally, you know, as we've seen before, especially Facebook, like suicide, you know, a lot of
Yeah.
suicides were happening, I mean, in the last few years because they're trying to compete with something that's
But
honestly really an illusion. A lot
it
of
is.
this is an illusion that we're looking at on social
Yeah.
media, you
Yeah.
know.
Instagram is
So,
a lie. Instagrammers, influencers, all of it, it's a dream. It's an
yeah.
ideation that people want to do those things, but it's
Hmm.
really, they're not even obtainable goals.
Yeah.
Like back to the goals. Let's get back to the goals.
Get
It's
back to
not
the goals.
obtainable
Yeah.
goals, you know? And I was just telling my girlfriend that now. I'm like, I could sit there on Instagram and act like I live this lavish life
Yeah.
that people think that I'm living, but it's
Yeah.
like at the end of the day, like that's not who you are. Like
Yeah.
that's
Keep
the
it
problem with
real.
a lot of people. Yeah.
Yeah, because eventually we're going to see you, you know, we're going to see something about you and, you know, we're going to wonder, well, where did everything go? You know,
Exactly.
everything was
Exactly.
rented, bought, you know.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy how it's so acceptable for that to happen.
Yeah, it's crazy. Well, I'm just excited. I'm just so glad to just take the time to have you on.
Thank you.
You know, and I don't want to hold you forever. You know, I know you're on the East Coast. It's 5 o'clock here in Cali.
Yeah. Cali.
Yes, yes. So what's going to be what should we expect from you next? I know 6 months we're working on the music. Are you going to be doing a visual for the tea? Do you see a
Oh,
visual
I
or
actually,
see?
like I said, I saw a visual when I wrote that song.
You've seen it a long
Um,
time ago.
a
Wow.
long time ago. It's just been in the works. I have, the money stuff. It's Corona time. Like, there's a
Yeah.
lot going on.
Yeah.
Um, Eventually, that's going to be coming out. I think the tea is a great segue to my entire project
Yeah.
that I'm working on. I say this, I spill the tea, so come vibe with me, and
Mm-hmm.
that's like how I represent myself. The tea is the introduction to my story and the beginning
Yeah.
of my music career.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
so I definitely see a music video, but I don't know when that's gonna happen.
When it
Um,
happens, when it happens. I was
it's supposed to happen when it happens,
okay. Yeah,
you
because you
know?
know who was it last year that put out Beyonce, I think it was. Remember when Lion King, that whole album? Like
Hmm.
she had dropped the album almost a year and a half, 2 years ago, and then when she just came out with already the visual,
Yeah,
people just now realized
and she
that's a
had
new
it.
song. Yeah, so it's
Yeah,
like
yeah,
the song I was bumping the song like a year and
exactly,
a half ago.
exactly. But
It's
people
timeless.
are willing to wait for you. If
Yes,
people are willing to wait for you, that's what it is. If they're not supporting
they're
you.
not your
That's
fan. Yeah, they're not your
exactly.
fans.
And you
Yeah,
don't need that. You don't
yeah,
really need it. So the people that care and will wait, they're gonna keep waiting. There's
yeah,
people that are waiting now and they ask me all the time, like, hey, are you gonna make more music? Yeah, eventually it's gonna come out. Oh, okay, I'll keep waiting. Like
yeah. You're true
it,
supporters.
exactly. And that's
Yeah,
at the end of the day, that's what needs to happen,
yeah,
be patient. But I see that coming out. I see another single coming out. I have another visual I have in mind that I
yeah.
really want to let out. And it's about mental health.
Yes,
A lot of my songs are about topics that nobody wants to talk about.
yeah. You got to talk
Um,
about them.
Social issues, mental health issues, loving yourself, anything.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't wait to share it with everybody because people are in for a treat.
Yeah. Well,
People
we
are in for a
can't wait
treat.
to receive it. And I honestly, again, I feel so blessed that I came across the tea.
Thank you.
You know, you are the tea, honey. Okay. Hot, warm, you know, full of substance, everything you're talking about. I mean, this song is incredible.
Thank you
Okay.
so much.
No, thank you.
Literally, thank you.
I know that, yeah.
Yeah.
Tell everybody where they can find you. I know, of course, you are Riah Dawn Official, but if there's any other platforms, talk to us.
Yep. You can find me at Riah Dawn Official on Instagram. You can find me Riah D on YouTube and on Spotify and all those great places, Apple Music, Amazon Music, all Riah Dawn.
Okay. Well, I'm excited that I know you.
I know. I'm so happy I have you in my life. Like you're just a breath of fresh air, honestly.
Aw.
Like I needed what you said to me the other day. It's crazy how you can just connect with people when you just meet them. I think it's insane, but everything, the universe happens and
Mhm.
aligns things for the reasons that they're supposed to. So
Yeah.
it was meant for it to happen.
Well, let's stay in touch, of course.
For
And
sure.
again, I thank everyone for coming in tonight and supporting this beautiful artist. If you have not heard the song, it is available on all platforms. The song is The Tea, and she is giving you the tea. Okay?
The tea. Spilling the
So
tea. So come vibe.
come by. Thank you so much. I
Thank you
appreciate
so
you.
much. I appreciate you. I'll talk to you soon.
Okay, peace.
Bye.